Hello and welcome, YouTube land. Here we are with another boss fight. Rom at Moonside Lake. This boss is one of my more difficult bosses that I had to go up against my first playthrough, and the second playthrough was still a little challenging for myself. Right here, ignoring the minions, ignoring Rom, looking for the blood echoes, and you might be able to catch a glimpse of it, but unfortunately I did not whenever I was playing, and I ended up just giving up and going back through and fighting Rom itself and the minions. And the nice thing about the boss fight itself is that, as annoying as it is to try and find your blood echoes on the surface of the lake, Rom will actually warp from spot to spot on the lake, and that will allow you to cover ground itself while you're fighting and hopefully knock out the health of the boss and pick up your blood echoes all at the same time. I think it's a really cool concept, the vastness of fighting Rom, just the barrenness, as well as the tedious management of the little minions or rock spiders themselves. The rock spiders do a significant amount of damage, so be careful. Unless you have a really high damage output, I would suggest baiting a handful of them away. As you can see, a lot of damage. Of course, I do not have an overabundant amount of health. My stamina bar is actually higher than my health bar, which one thing that I really wanted to work on for this dexterity/sorcery build. As far as I can tell, there are some attacks that will actually wrap around and hit the tinder bits of the spiders themselves. They don't do the full damage, but you can not be exact and lined up to do your attack to them and still get some damage off. Rom itself has a really repetitive attack pattern, so you don't have to worry about too much other than your X distance to Rom itself. Right there is a good example of why you should clear out all of the little spiders first, so that you don't get so focused on Rom whenever Rom's open to attack, and then take that stray spider hit and perish, I guess. Right here, just trying to see what the spiders are doing, hopefully get them to split, break into little groups, and then a much more manageable size take them out. Found my blood echoes, not as much as I was hoping it would be, but I got them and got out without taking a hit. The easiest method is get a couple of them baited out, and you gotta be careful, because if you focus too much on the little ones, then you'll have to listen to the audio cues of fighting Rom instead of the visual cues of whenever Rom attacks. But bait a couple out, sidestep's really effective. Lunging, haven't really used it because you get too close and Rom will do an attack and put you on your ass. So sidestep, you should be good. At least take out 2/3 of the little spiders, depending on your damage output, because you don't want that last third of the spiders to meld back into the horde of that spawn in whenever Rom warps to a different part of the lake, and then that just has a shit ton more spiders, little spiders you got to deal with all at once just to get up to Rom itself. Can't stress enough, this is a real tedious boss fight. Audio and visual cues are key here. Those meteors don't do a whole lot of damage. They're mainly just there to stall you up so you can take damage from the little spiders, because that's where a great chunk of the damage is going to come from through most of the fight. I would suggest, whenever you do get the opportunity to get up to Rom, get to the side like so, to where the fleshy tinder pits are, and do your change weapon attack, because you'll be able to get a little bit extra damage. You can do damage to Rom's face, but it's significantly reduced. A good opening is to really get on top of the spiders that are left over whenever Rom warps to a new area and take them out while they're away from the new group. Staying mobile is key. It's the reason why I have a lot of stamina. It's actually the first time in a game like this that I have had more stamina than health, and I find it a very interesting and refreshing way to play the game. So if you're used to being the high damage output, you want to try dexterity build, get that stamina up so it's higher than your health bar, and just lunge attack all day. It's very refreshing, like I had mentioned. It's great for PvP as well, because they expect you to run out of stamina whenever you still have a quarter or a third of your stamina bar left, and you can stay on top of them, keeping them pressured. Rom, really repetitive, like I had mentioned. You have enough time to just stay back if you want, figure out that distance where you want to be so you don't take hits from any of his meteors, get that timing down for the meteors coming out of the sky to, you know, smash your face in with all their doom and sadness. Outside of that, it's just tedious management of the little spiders, making sure you don't get caught off guard like so, and end up dying. Dying in this game is never good. It's a fun game, it's challenging, that's why you play it, but it gets to a point where you just cry yourself to sleep at night and hate your life because you just want to play the game and get to a new area, but you fuck up, the fuck-ups are critical, and you end up dying. I do have to say, the pockmarks in the meteor for Rom's face, and even in the little ones, if you can get a chance to close, are a bunch of black eyeballs. I think it's a really cool concept. I also really like the energy wisp hairs, or whatever you want to call them, the bioluminescent hairs on Rom itself. Visually, this boss, for as annoying as the boss fight is really enjoyable. Always remember, you're never alone when you're out on the hunt.